What? Say that again. Start again.
You know, like for example, I'm 4.25 inches. Does that satisfy you? Or of course they probably wouldn't even know, but
You just answered your own question.
does size like matter if you're like within the average range? Because I see online women say that like 6 to 7 inches is required, and especially for like uh, people like Indians, I think that's not like practical to expect.
Let's say it does matter. Okay. Let's say size does matter. So what? What can you do about it? And let's say it does matter. It doesn't matter. Well, so what? What can you do about it? Now, let's say that you have a very small member. I'm not saying you, okay, Ali. I'm just speaking in broad terms, in general terms. Let's say an individual does have a very small member. There's a number of things you can do. First thing I would recommend is there's a good book here on the topic of coition. It's written by, here we go. It's called The Perfumed Garden. Okay, it's written by someone, an individual called Sheikh Nafzawi. Okay, it's not a religious book. This is the Kama Sutra of the Arab world. It was actually translated by an Englishman who learned the Arabic language, Sir Richard Burton. I've read this book. And in this book here is a mad book, rude boy. It tells you what to do, what positions are best for a man who has a very large member and is causing his wife pain. It tells you what to do, what positions are best for a man who has a very small member and therefore is unable to reach the areas of her cervix and so on without her being in certain types of positions, because certain positions during coitus or during sexual intimacy enable you to penetrate further and deeper than other positions. It's not for me to, I'm not going to turn this into a sex ed class now, okay? But what I'm saying is, you're going to want to check out this book, The Perfumed Garden. Very interesting. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if you really want to go down this rabbit hole, I know that there are certain instruments that, if used over the long run, it can add both length and girth to your member. So for it, there are certain types of exercises you can do, and it's not a fad. It's real. I've actually seen certain YouTubers talk about it online. That one guy that's always with Andrew Tate and Justin Waller. Put his name in the comments, guys. I forget his name. The bald porn star. He talks about this stuff all the time on his channel. So there's something, a penis pump, something like this. If you use it regularly and you add that with certain different like stretching exercise, I don't know, bro. Al muhim, I have heard on good authority that if you have a small member, using these exercises can add a solid inch at a minimum to your length over a 6 to 12 month period. Okay, which is a considerable amount. An inch is a lot. An inch is a lot. And it can add like half an inch to your girth as well. So you're going to want to get this book because you're going to want to put your woman in positions. And again, I'm not making it about you, but I'm saying if a man has a smaller member, he doesn't want to put his woman in certain positions whereby she would notice he has a small member and thereby her satisfaction might be compromised. Okay. And then after that, if it is really an issue, then, penis exercise and all the rest of it. But I will say this: the average member size, I think it's like 5.5 inches for the average human being. I'm not picking any particular culture. 5.5 inches is the average. So if you're in and around that range, gentlemen, you don't have a small member. You have an average sized member. And guess what? Most people are average. So you've probably got nothing to worry about. Does that answer your question, Ali?
Yeah, it does. Thank you. And so you think it would be a bad idea to like kind of like size drop before marriage or something, or be like, okay, this is what I have.
Uh,
If you don't
what? Say that again. Start again.
size drop, as in like when you're talking to a prospective partner, tell her that, hey, you know, like for example, I'm 4.25 inches. Does that satisfy you? Or of course they probably wouldn't even know, but
You just answered your own question. How's she gonna know, bruv? No, you're not gonna want to bring that up. And by the way, if you marry, if okay, again, let's take this away from you. If a gentleman has a smaller member, or he is from an ethnicity that typically have a smaller member, then he would do well to marry a woman from his ethnicity. Why? Because she's not used to being like, she's not used to the big gorilla. Do you understand? She's not used to the Eiffel Tower. She's this is normal for her. This is the men are this size, and that's not normal. If a woman, let's say, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the country who has the biggest average size penis is Congo. Something like 7.5 inches is the average size of the penis of men in Congo. Don't ask me how they found this out. I don't know, bruv. All right. This is what I heard. Okay. That means that would logically, by extension, I would assume that the women of Congo are used to an average size of 7.5 inches. So if you're a man who has a small member, it might not be a good idea to marry a woman from Congo, because you're going to be asking questions, bruv. You know what I mean? Victoria's gonna be like, is it in yet or what? Does that answer your question, Ali?
Yes, it does. And then one broad question. I think a lot of people, this concerns a lot of people, but do you feel like South Asian guys are kind of limited in their like dating pool because like the lower masculinity in the culture and all that? It might be a little controversial for you to comment, so feel free to pass on this. But
Do I
do you
feel
know what I
like they're
mean?
what? Do I feel like they're what?
So in the black pill community, I've noticed that it's really common for people to say that like Indians or like Bengalis, less so Pakistanis, are kind of at the bottom of the dating pool because of what you mentioned, like domineering mothers and all that, and like they kind of like can't date outside of their own culture.
Bro,
Like,
bro,
do you
bro,
have any
bro.
comments?
There are some seriously stud Chad Asian brothers. Yeah. You don't need to allow. I don't know if this idea of this, my brain's starting to get tired. I don't know if this is a reputation amongst the Asian brothers. I don't know. Yeah, this is news to me. But if it does, you don't have to accept it. Yeah, you don't have to accept this for yourself. You can say, you know what, I'm gonna be that guy that's not gonna be like that. That will make me even more desirable as a Desi man, because this reputation apparently exists, and I'm not that guy. And again, I'm not saying it does exist. I don't know. Who cares, bro? So if you like that clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.